Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of NGS Critline. I am your host, Criticaster, official navigator of SUS. But today we're just going to do the same thing as last time. We're going to take your guys' feedback from the official NGS Discord. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the balance of challenge versus reward. So are we getting enough rewards for what we are doing, or maybe even too much? But starting us off here, we have our first topic. Please take a look into the new high-rank sector drops involving weapons and armor units. Then they go on to mention that we can get good drops from these combat zones, such as rugged weapons or other 7-star things, but they are super rare. So for the more common drops, such as in Alnoth, for example, we can only still get like 5-star equipment, which is around level 21 to 27 in a level 60 zone. So why not give us 6-star equipment or even a better chance at this 7-star stuff? So with this, I'm gonna have to agree to a certain extent. I don't understand why we go to these level 60 spots or even just higher level zones and still get all of these low level items. We should get up to a certain baseline based off that level. So 6-star armor or weapons dropping in these areas should be no problem. But to look at it in SEGA's eyes, I think what they're trying to go for with equipment is that most of the things are region locked. So specific things can drop in Alio, in Ritem, and then Kavaris, and they don't really mix. The only things that break this rule are rugged weapons and obsidia weapons. But I think the reason for that is because they're more tied to this level increase update. So that's what they wanted to do, is that they wanted to tie it to the level instead of a single region. But then again, a thing that also came with this update was that Ephetus 7-star armor, and you can't get those armors necessarily in every region. You can get specifically the Belta and Ritem, specifically the Sheza and Kavaris, and specifically Arga in Alio. So with these armor and weapons, we have two conflicting ideas about what they should do for this update. But I think all in all, the main problem is we're just not getting enough consistent drops for that level 60. And so to remedy this, I wanted to bring up a concept or a checklist that could be used for all types of content, and it's going to be consistent throughout this video to help fix challenge and rewards. So first off, we have guaranteed items, or the baseline of items that all players need. So for combat zones, that's already fixed or is already there. So it's Meseta, Strugments, and with Fortes, we got those gold prims to help enhance our gear. So that's all set. And then we have the rare items on the other side. We have those as well with Ruggeds and Ephetus armor. But what we're missing is something in the middle. These items in the middle being things like this person suggested, such as the 6-star armor and weapons. Stuff that you want on a more consistent basis, but not necessarily as guaranteed as all that other stuff. But even then, some might consider that to be even baseline as well. So then for other things in the middle that we can look towards are capsules. So right now, we can get a good amount of capsules from combat sectors, but most of them are pretty much worthless, or they're just not really used as much. Such as like the Alt Secreta, they can only go up to 3 right now, while we have tier 4 capsules of other things. But you can get like Soul 4s in combat zones, but then we run into another issue. This issue being explained by this person here. So their topic is stop killing the Augment market. In 2 weeks, every boss Soul 4 and Stat 4, except for a select few, are going to be dirt cheap because of all of the urgent quests. Because they give you a guaranteed 3 of each of those every single time. So this particular comment got downvoted like crazy, as you can see on the bottom there, 13 versus 43. But I have to say I agree with them. This hurts the balance of the game severely. So even though it is nice to get those tier 4 capsules guaranteed, once you see them in drops from bosses and other pieces of content, it feels like a terrible drop, even though it's actually pretty good. And so like they said here, SEGA just needs to find that right balance. Consistency is very important to keeping the players engaged and happily grinding. But I wouldn't say completely remove the guarantee from the urgent quests, maybe just lower it down to about 1 per urgent quest, and then give more consistent rewards within the quest itself. The reason I say this is because you could argue that urgent quests are harder than combat zones. So because of that, having a guarantee of at least one of the soul or the stat 4 of the thing that you're facing for this quest would be nice to give a little bit more of an incentive in doing those than combat areas. But the way how I see it in the game right now is that urgent quests have a different guaranteed baseline than the combat areas, so that's where it makes it not consistent. So Soul 4s are in that guaranteed category, while the Soul 4s and combat zones are in that middle of the road. So you can get them somewhat consistently, but it just doesn't line up. So it makes Soul 4s overall feel worse or less valuable. And so into our next topic here that kind of remedies the urgent quest issue is that they need to update the copy pasted UQ rewards. So right now, if you do a rank 4 version or rank whatever version that's higher than 1, you pretty much get the same rewards as you would if you were doing those lower ranks. So doing level 65 Pedis, for example, is going to give you like Strugments and still the same mods and low level weapons as it would a rank 1. So the only difference is those Strugments and the potential of getting extra Soul 4s beyond those guaranteed Soul 4s. So if you removed or lowered the guarantee, then you're basically doing it for no reason. And that's why to fix the feeling of loot for combat zones, we're going to need to fix the urgent quest rewards as well. So with that, we have to go back to that checklist or concept of guaranteed rewards, middle of the road, and rare rewards. So for the guarantee right now, we have those guaranteed Soul 4s, but what do we put in that spot instead? And then also, what are we going to fill into the middle of the road? This one's a little tricky, but if it were up to me, I would take those low level weapons and armor that are guaranteed to drop in these quests and instead turn it up a notch to be at least of level. So like 6-star gear, you get those every time. And then maybe with the consistent stuff, it can just have fixes be pretty common in terms of urgent quests. So you get like fixes quite a bit, since those can be a nice little boost and could even give you some money as well. And it'll be something to look forward to when you're working up to those 7 stars, as those are going to be better even without fixes compared to 6 stars. And then because we lowered the Soul 4's guarantee or even removed it in some cases, then those can also be in the middle of the road, so they're a little bit more consistent as well, but not, just handed out to you. Then there is another idea that I don't think is as likely, is that each urgent quest has some unique loot to it that isn't just rare drops. Because right now we do have cosmetics that are unique to these specific UQs, such as weapon camos, but if they had something that was more consistent or even guaranteed that was unique to that urgent quest, maybe that would change up things as well. But now I wanted to change topics here and talk about scalability for different modes, specifically ones like Geometric Labyrinth and Cannonball Strike. So this person's topic here says, rework older content to scale with Augment or fashion demands, possibly with systems such as challenge rewards. So what they're getting at here is that currently with Trinitas, you still get Tria capsules, even though it scales to your current level, and they're currently worse than pretty much all of the capsules that you would use in the game. It's even worse than super augments, which come from another mode called Cannonball Strike or Cannonball Rumble, and those modes are way easier than Trinitas. And because of that, basically nobody does the Trinitas or Geometric Labyrinth because it's so much harder and takes so much longer, with you getting basically no reward. Currently, the only thing that I think partially works with this Trinitas or Geometric Labyrinth is that the more mods you put on, or more modifiers that make it more challenging, give you higher ranks and more rewards. But that's the issue. You get more rewards, but you don't get better rewards. And then because this quest in specific scales to your level, it doesn't feel like you're getting any better with the quest, and sometimes even makes it seem worse. And so for SEGA to fix this, I have 2 separate solutions. They can either just get rid of the scalability altogether and just leave it a level 30 or 35 quest and don't have it go to your level. The other option is to increase the rewards that you are getting. Not like how much you're getting, but the value of them. so have Tria Capsule 2s or Tria Capsule 3s when you pass certain level thresholds. So ultimately, SEGA, if you're going to have a scalable quest, then you're going to need scalable rewards, otherwise it just won't work. But speaking of that, this actually leads us into the next topic of another scalable quest, the Ordinal Tower. So the Ordinal Tower isn't quite out yet of the making of this video, but it doesn't exactly scale the same way. Instead, it actually has different ranks leading up all the way to 65, so you can actually choose the different level points. But then with this quest, however, we have the opposite problem, where it actually can give too much. So this person talks about exactly that. Obsidia stronger than Khazar. Ordinal Tower later this month is going to give everyone this weapon for free, so why did we all farm this Khazar weapon instead of just getting this? So with this, as you can see here, this got downvoted like crazy, 13 versus 45. But I understand where they are coming from. But I don't think it's justified either, because Khazar has been out for 4 months, this is only coming out now, and it's pretty much just a side grade anyways, it's barely better. So with MMOs and online RPGs, there's always going to be new shiny gear to go for, otherwise what would be the point? So I understand that. And also with this Ordinal Tower, the Obsidia weapons are guaranteed only at the top rank, the level 65 version, and you need a decent score with that said class. So honestly, with this one here, I don't see the issue of Obsidias. Where I see the issue is actually in the lower ranks. For just one example here, at level 20, the rank 2 version, you can get a 7-star armor, the Phantasy armor, which is a level 57 armor at level 20. So that doesn't make any sense at all. Granted, it is just a first clear reward, so you only get it the one time, but still, should a level 20 character be able to get a level 57 item? I don't think so. And then I imagine this isn't the only rank that this happens to. You probably get a piece of each of the Phantasy armor up through the ranks, pretty much when you're not supposed to. And if we remember, when we look back, Phantasy armor and Obsidia weapons were in this rare category for all other pieces of content that it can drop in. So when you start just handing it out willy-nilly for free, making it all the way from rare to guaranteed, you're going to have an issue with reward balancing. So SEGA, I ask you, what do you want to do with rewards? Do you want us to give like nothing like Trinitas? Or do you want to just give us everything like the guaranteed urgent quests and this Ordinal Tower? You got to decide on what you're going for, otherwise you're just going to confuse the player base. And then more importantly, you're just going to end up angering the players that have been playing for a long time, or veteran players such as this one, where they feel like all the work that they put in up until this point was pointless. So basically you need to figure out what is stuff that you want to be challenging and rewarding, and don't just hand out best in slot stuff in mission passes, seasonal events, this Ordinal Tower stuff when it's like really low level, like level 20, etc. But that is everything that we have today. I know I didn't cover everything about rewards, because there's even some things in the game, like Cocoon rank 2s, which give absolutely nothing unless there's an ARC's record showing up. But if you guys have any more feedback, please be sure to go check out the official NGS Discord and post your feedback in the general feedback channel. But if you guys have any feedback for this show, please use the hashtag NGS Critline. In the next episode, we will be talking about features that they should add to NGS, so something a little bit new. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.